Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It's Thursday, August 13th, 2020. I'm Crypto Jack and I'm hosting today's show. But alongside me, I do have our lead analyst, Justin Wise. He's currently sitting on the call along with our other analysts, Alex and Jason. How you all guys doing today?
Very well.
Doing great, Jack. Thanks so much for hosting the event. Could I ask everybody to mute their mics when Jack or another individual is talking so we don't get any feedback? Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Keep yourselves muted.
And good morning.
Morning, Alex. Morning, everybody in the chat. I hope everybody's doing well. Let's take a look here. Maybe do a little roll call of the people in the live chat. Justin, we want to quickly shout out to anybody in the live chat. Let's see who's here early.
Yeah, I got to pull open the live event. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the chat. I don't see you guys yet, but big shout out to you guys on this Thursday afternoon. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic. We've got a lot to cover today. We do want to look, obviously, very closely at the consolidation area that Bitcoin is in. We want to look at the potential. We want to look at the potential fallout from that. We want to look at the potential trade setups that might be engendered. And overall, I think for trend following traders, the answer that's going to come from kind of this consolidation area and what we currently see with price action is going to be interesting. So some things that we haven't done in a while here. And then, of course, we're going to be looking at altcoins. I've got about 6 now on my list that I want to kind of drill into with greater detail. And then we'll be covering the news. All right, so we've got Ali. I see Robert, David Rice, Spin B, Vaughn, Philly from Manchester, Adam Simmons, Nigao Mihai. Good to see you, my friend. Seen you in a while. Peckham08. He says, her we shabba dabba do. All right. Ravencoin. Cool. Yeah, that explains it. Just Ravencoin.
Also, Peckham wanted us to know that he saw a big buy order on ERD, and he thinks because it's shitcoin season that we should be going. And I should steal the stream if I have to let everybody know.
Well, I would say the stream has been stolen, my friend. You guys heard it here first.
Yeah,
One live viewer.
This is from Peckham.
Got to take it under advisement, Mr. Peckham. With that said, just to let everybody know, apologies for the unusual format for today's Breaking Bitcoin. Justin Wise, as you already know, is in the middle of that crazy Midwestern storm that knocked out a lot of utilities and caused a havoc in his area. So Justin, I hope everybody enjoyed Justin's pre-recorded Breaking Bitcoin episode yesterday, although that in itself was very taxing for his generator. So we figured the best approach for today is let's just do the usual roundtable live stream with Justin calling in. This is probably the most practical way for him to kind of join in and participate and not overtax the generator and not have to shut the power off to the rest of the house. So I hope his family is appreciative of the ongoing power supply with no interruptions. So I'm going to be passing the screen over to Justin. Let me hop into Justin's live stream. Here we go, and let me put Justin up on the main scene here. Here we go.
All right, we good to go?
Give Justin the opportunity. Yep, just connecting to your live stream right now. Discord seems to be taking its time.
All right, good to see you, Mbait. Why we got Crypto Cash, Verk coming in the morning. Did someone say shitcoins? Yes, we did say shitcoins, my friend. We're going to take a look at them. But Mbait, you know what? Actually, Mbait, this is the time, my friend. This is the time. Normally, if you were to post any shitcoins in the chat right now, I would be very speculative in the opposite direction. But I think we can do it this time. Let's hear your list, man. Let's go. Let's get this money. Thank you, Prophet Bear. I appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate all of the kind messages that I've received from individuals in the community, friends of mine, individuals I've helped mentor, members of the community, members of the premium group. You guys are, I mean, overwhelmingly awesome. I cannot overstate it. You know, I've been involved with, you know, other communities, I guess, in my 32 years of life from different things, but I'm continually humbled and grateful for just the kindness, the generosity, and the community aspect of what we have going on. So make sure if you guys are not in that community yet, you're just tuning in. That's our Discord server. That's where all the magic happens. And I've seen a lot of new individuals there. And I think on a fluke, because we do happen to rank extremely high if you search for Discord crypto. So for one reason or another, we'll take it. Crypto Caveman, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, so they're calling it, what was that word? This, I have lived in the Midwest for a long time, all my life really. And so
Derico.
What is it? Derico?
Yeah, that's it. It's a Derico.
It was a Derico that swept through here. And if you guys do not know what a Derico is, look it up. It is a massive windstorm. Produces winds on average of a hurricane or a tornado. Cool. I got the charts up. All right, let's get into this. But anyways,
It's like it's like a rogue wave in the sea, but on land.
Yeah, and again, I did this yesterday. I do want to give. I know there's a lot of locals who do support the stream, and again, shout out to anybody that's watching from the Midwest area who was affected by the Derico, and the community spirit around here is really strong too. That's why I enjoy living here. I enjoy raising my kids here. So again, the first thing I did on Monday was drive around, help people out, help my family out, help family members out. And I see everybody else doing that too. So things are good, and that's the kind of sentiment we need, I think, for just general emotional well-being, which is very important to being a profitable trader. If you guys have been paying attention, just to see that with everything going on, potential currency crisis, upcoming elections, which is causing everybody to be at their supreme unreasonableness and irrationality, as well as the coronavirus, everything that's going on in the world right now. It's really heartening to see that at the base core, individuals are kind and people pull together in times of crisis, which is why, as I've always said, I'm bullish on humanity, but it's kind of like a long-term hold. All right, so let's start off with the king of crypto today, Bitcoin. Again, let's just go over the notes that I had, the highlights that I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about the updates to the premium signals for premium members here in just a second, and the altcoins that I want to look at. But what's interesting today is that we are going to be getting a technical exit signal on the PTP system that we're currently using for our Bitcoin long swing trades. Right, so this is the IFT RSI. This is the inverse Fisher transform applied to a modified form of the RSI. You guys can find this indicator on TradingView if you like. This is just an example of an exit indicator that you can utilize in a PTP system, as well, in conjunction with your other indicators, which allow you to have a comprehensive entry, exit, continuation, and many other strategies that allow you to be a well-rounded trader. So this is the first. I was about to say, I guess the only logical way I could have said that was, this is the first exit signal we've gotten since the last exit signal that we received. But we have not received a signal like this since, this candle right here, which was the 12th of May of this year. So it's been quite a while. It's been almost 4 months. And, a little bit, quite a bit longer than that, actually. And interestingly enough, I want to look at what price did. I want to look at what price did leading up to this exit signal. I want to look at what price has done leading up to the current exit signal, and look at the difference in market structure. So as we can see, following the March meltdown sell-off, where everything was on its merry way to zero, we rallied extremely hard. We had a beautiful Bitcoin rally off of those lows at 3K. One common DM that I've received since discussing bringing into the conversation, what are the biggest mistakes we made in the previous bull run that we have attempted to not make this bull run, because we have been in a bullish run. We have Bitcoin just itself up from its absolute low, up over 200, up 200%. So we have certainly been in a bullish trend. And I think that a lot of individuals just figured that out. And as is often the case, it would not be an unlikely scenario to see individuals who just now realized that it's a bull market buy in here and get wrecked momentarily, as we are going to, I think, have a pretty significant retracement. At least the signs are certainly pointing toward that. I'm going to lay that out here. So the exit signal today is certainly just one of them. But again, we have a bullish rally leading up to the exit signal that we received in May. And then, of course, we have a bullish continuation rally leading up to the exit signal that we are currently receiving in August. Now, what's interesting is if we look at the candle that actually signaled for the exit, and that would be this candle right here on the 12th of May. We did actually, that was a green candle, and we did have two more pretty bullish candles, 5% candles following that. So there was 10% more kind of that uptrend that we could have captured if we would have been, if we would have taken that exit signal and then used some discretion as to where to exit the market, right? We see that price has put in a green candle after a doji. Perhaps we're going to get a little bit of a reversal here and go back for the swing high that we formed up here. And that's exactly what we did. But as we can see, price was unable to close above that swing high. So we formed a lower high. And then we moved on and formed a higher low. Whenever you start putting in divergent highs and lows. So if the market is making higher highs and higher lows, you're in a bullish trend. If the market is making lower highs and lower lows, you're in a bearish trend. But if you're making lower highs and higher lows, or vice versa, then you are in you're in consolidation. You're in some area of chop, because it's exactly what we see. It precedes reversals, it precedes consolidation. And what followed? Almost 4 months of Bitcoin going sideways. In fact, Bitcoin trading as we moved into the end of July with the lowest volatility that Bitcoin has ever traded at in its history. Very frustrating area of the market for many traders, especially for those who don't have good filters and who are jumping out at every potential breakout. And we didn't really see any of the very simple signs that we would like to see in this area. You know, my PTP system only had one false signal in this entire area. And I think that's quite good based on the horror stories that we saw from a lot of people in this range.
You know what other mistake people make during a low volatility trading range like this on Bitcoin is they just keep zooming in and zooming in and zooming in. And so there'll be maybe a 0.5% change in Bitcoin, and people come onto the server and they're like, dude, Bitcoin is dumping right now. And I'll be like, I see a $50 change, buddy. I don't, it's not a dump.
Yep, I absolutely feel you, man. We saw an increased, there is an increased interest in the most minuscule of moves the lower macro volatility gets. I think is a pretty good rule of thumb. And something that we've talked about before, you can kind of tell a cryptocurrency only trader because they want to be tuned in to every little wiggle of Bitcoin's price action. So for that's not a good thing. You often don't see those people making quite a lot of money, to be frank. But
certainly, I mean, super guilty of it myself. I mean, that was sort of a lesson that I had to learn the hard way during November of 2018, where I was trying to trade that super tight chop on Bitcoin, which I think was the other low volatility episode before this low volatility episode that was the lowest volatility ever. And man, I would get, it was just like, it's impossible. I mean, that's the whole point. It's you can't make a profit out of it. It's low volatility. You need volatility for profit. And I think a lot of people have to learn it the hard way. I know I did. And so during this whole time, we were trading altcoins because obviously people who are new to crypto and are now watching this show may not know this, but the alt market and Bitcoin markets tend to go in cycles. And while Bitcoin trades sideways like it did here for 3 months, people get bored. And when they get bored, they want to duplicate the kind of profits that they saw recently in their Bitcoin holdings. And they go and they look for those deals in altcoins, which usually have been declining while Bitcoin was doing its thing. So it's kind of, a cycle of one and the other as larger institutions in Wales kind of cycle their money in and out and fleece retail. Sorry for interrupting.
No interruption. Very good points. Very good points. I mean, first off, the fact that even I think that's good. Individuals, when we were talking about that, when we were talking the other day in the community mentoring session, we talked about what are the biggest mistakes, individuals made in the 2017 cryptocurrency bull run that they don't want to make this bull run, or that they have taken steps to avoid, because that's what you need. It's very good, and I think it's enlightening, and I think it's especially enheartening to hear that other individuals have had struggles the same as everyone else. And And I've been very open with my first few years in trading. I was not an intuitively good trader. I was a terrible trader out of the gate. It was only through the application of strategy. It was only with writing things down. It was only with developing a very firm and hard plan and sticking to those rules, following what is on the paper, that I was able to become the trader that I am today. And that's exactly what we attempt to teach people. So it's good for people to see that. But the takeaway that I want people to have is that, going through a hardship or a tragedy is not in and of itself a growing experience, right? It is a situation in which one can grow, but one has to apply strategy. One has to sit down and look at what went wrong or what went right, and how can we maximize the right and how can we minimize the wrong in any situation. So it's good, man. And certainly low volatility areas are tricky. Oh, they're not tricky, right? That's I think that's a common misconception. I think it's very easy to say.
They're emotionally tricky. They're actually very simple. Just don't trade that area.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So I think that saying is so common. That's why it slipped out of my tongue so easily. People say, well, low volatility areas like this is a real tricky area to trade. No, it's not. Like, just sit on your hands. There's nothing to do here unless your edge is low volatility areas like market making or high frequency bots. And if you do not have that edge, then this is not the area for you to be trading in. Again, the easiest edge for individuals to come in and have good success at is trend following trading. That's why we focus on it. Okay, so wrapping up with the technicals here. So the last thing that we talked about with the market structure of Bitcoin right now is the fact that on the previous exit signal, we did rally up and form a lower high, right? And then we moved into consolidation, low period of volatility. Now, I'd like to look at what we've done so far. So Bitcoin has already formed our swing high up here when we actually try to take that run, as people thought, to 13,000. We traded briefly above 12,000 and then immediately corrected before going up here and forming, what is this? A lower high. We formed a lower high and have since sold off, not all the way down to the bottom of the range. The bottom of the range would be down here where we see liquidity existing around the $10,600 area. That price level will be relevant here in a second, so remember that. And as we can see, we've already formed kind of a lower high that could set us up for moving into consolidation, or again, as I've said before, this is often what you will see before a market turns around. Now, as a trend following trader, the trend is still bullish. So the statistics, the probability of price moving up or appreciating is greater than it moving down. However, I want, my biggest takeaway from this is, and again, this isn't a trade, this isn't a short that I want to be in if individuals are looking for the short. We've gone over this before. I talked about this yesterday and then the previous day on the stream. The price action setup that one could see from this, or the reversal setup. So for the reversal traders out there who want to take Bitcoin down, what you're looking at is a swing failure pattern. And a swing failure pattern is when price of an asset forms a swing high, and then it sells off, it forms a low, as we can see the low that was established at 10,600, let's just call it. And then price rallies back up to attempt to break resistance, to break above the swing high and continue the bullish trend. But we're unable to do that, and we fail, we get rejected, and we get rejected at a lower price, forming a lower high. And then if price moves on to break the low that was established, in this case 10,600, that is confirmation of a swing failure pattern, and one would enter into a momentum short based off of that. So this is price action trading. This is a reversal setup. This is not a trade that I'm going to be taking because I do not trade against the dominant trend. That is just a rule that has kept me out of many situations that have gotten me absolutely wrecked. And again, I think the statistics on this are pretty clear, and you can do it with a little bit of journaling. If you keep good results of your journaling, and if you simulate a hypothetical series of trades where you do allow yourself to trade against the trend. See, it's easy for individuals to get tunnel vision. So for example, a common misconception or a common misconceived way of looking at this would be, well, if you believe the market's going to retrace, why wouldn't that be something that you short? So because over time, over a wide series of trades, over a wider data range, you will see that it doesn't work that way, that you're often not right. When you look at the chart and you discretionarily call a top or a bottom, or that this is going to happen just like this is where you see all of these, honestly, wannabe traders, chartists, who draw lots of lines and attempt to predict exactly where price is going to go and try to draw a roadmap for price, that's unrealistic at best, because the best technical analysis gives you a plan. It doesn't tell you exactly what's going to happen. It's impossible to predict the future. The market is inherently random, and any person can come in, any whale can come in and hit the market sell button and dump any asset as much as they want or push it up as much as they want. And you don't know what kind of fundamental events are going to come out in the future. So if you take the concept of not trading against the trend and you apply it to a very wide data set, you will find, and then if you calculate the P&L from that data set, you will see that you make more money over your career as a trader, quite a lot more, if you do not trade against the dominant trend, because the times that you are wrong with your setups is just going to be built in. Let's say you're right 60% of the time on your trades, which makes you a really good trader, by the way. You have 40% hit rate, and if you are risking, well, we'll get into risk in a little bit. But again, I think the point here is pretty clear. You take the concept of trading against the dominant trend out across a wide data set, and the results are pretty clear. All right, so we've already formed a lower high following this exit signal, or excuse me, prior to this exit signal. So I think expecting to see what happened last time, where we got the exit signal and price rallied to form a swing, a lower high, I think that's already happened. So I don't see a reason why price needs to move back up to these higher price levels. And in fact, if they were to do so, I would consider that pretty bullish. I would not consider a third push up to be another rejection waiting to happen. Of course, it could play out that way, but in this case, I think that it's more likely that whoever wanted to sell would have already sold and distributed at 12,000, around that $12,000 area, and that lower high is kind of the impetus. So the next signal that one would want to watch for, again, if they want to take the swing failure pattern or if they want to take the short, what I would be watching for is a close below 11,060. All right, and to show that, let's go ahead and go over to our roadmap chart. This is the chart that we used when we were in that consolidation period where we identified the rectangle top. We measured out the measured movement, the profit target up to this zone, which we're currently trading in and consolidating in. And I think the breakdown of that zone, the breakdown of the daily closes, the currently established support would be the first sign for one to get into a swing failure pattern trade if they are looking for that setup. So we have already formed, and then the second one would be potentially on today's daily candle anyways, because we talked on the previous live stream about the 2 ways to confirm a swing failure pattern, really 3 ways, but I'll just cover the 2 here that I like or I've had success with, and that is waiting for price to close below support, waiting for price to close below the low. And again, I don't use the low, I use the candle body close of the low candle, right? So for example, this candle right here established the low of the swing failure pattern, because here's the swing high, and it sold off in the exact same candle. So the same candle is the high and the low. I don't use that low, because then you're telling me I have to wait all the way to 10,500 to take a short potentially. Well, interestingly enough, that's where I would be looking to take a short because of super trend. But anyways, I digress. The candle close, however, is around 11,060. So that is the metric that I would use. That is the number that I would use. A daily close below that level and would be looking for a swing failure pattern short, or at least that would be confirmation of it. Again, remember, this isn't a trade that I am going to take because I'm not going to trade against the dominant trend. However, it is a valid setup. And the second way that you can confirm a swing failure pattern is more aggressive, and that is if you form a what's considered a swing high. That is a high with 2 lower candles on either side. So we have done that now. We have closed 2 lower candles. And again, individuals who want to be aggressive with it could take it on that candle. So looking at this range, it's fairly simple to me. A close below 11,060 would hint very strongly at the retracement theory that we've laid out. A movement down to 10,500, 10,200 out of this consolidation area. I think that is going to track with gold. I see a lot of sentiment, and we'll get into this when we look at the precious metals. But again, I think the sentiment among investors, the investors that move markets, is that largely that we're coming out of the malaise of 2020. that coronavirus is kind of on the ropes, that life is going to be restored to normal, that the Fed's monetary policy is going to be okay, regardless of the ramping up, because we have not seen clear signs of inflation. And obviously watching the markets rally so powerfully, so strongly, and the insertion of so many retail traders into the market, I have the feeling that investors are going to be moving from inflation hedged assets into cash. Now, that may not play out, but that's a very strong narrative. It makes a lot of sense in my mind, which means we're going to see the dollar rebound quite strongly, and we're going to see gold, silver, and Bitcoin retrace. But here's the thing. I don't think that's going to last very long, right? I think we're going to have a pronounced retracement, but I don't think that's going to last very long, because Bitcoin in 2020 is a lot stronger than Bitcoin in 2017, right? If you guys look at the volumes of PTP exchanges, especially in developing countries that need it the most with unstable economies, the world is more ready for Bitcoin than it was in 2017. 2017 was a lot of speculation. 2017 was pure speculation, not a lot of use case, right? Of course, use case was there for Bitcoin, as it always has
2020
been.
has a lot more social unrest, and like there's entire economies that want to get around financial sanctions. Certainly other governments are looking closely at Bitcoin for them to use themselves. I know I can't recall which countries exactly, but they have added Bitcoin to their country's reserves, and same way they've got gold reserves, that sort of things. I mean, you gotta be thinking, like, let's say you are running a country, it seems kind of like a good hedge against the future, right? Wouldn't you want some? You were running a country.
I would probably make. I don't know if I'd make Bitcoin the official currency, because if I would be running a country, I think it'd probably be in my own best interest to start an ERC20 token, Justin Coin.
You know, it would have to be like Wise Coin or something like that, not just Justin Coin.
Yeah,
sold.
It's got a ring to it. All right.
Sold. The more I look at this, the more it looks like we hit resistance there, broke above resistance.
Oh, hold on. Just 1 second. I want to comment on it. So Cryptonomics' recent comment says, these guys trying to predict markets using psychology they can't rationalize to predict markets. All right. Is $12,000 a price that you're comfortable selling Bitcoin at? Do you look at the chart right now, and are you fueled with overwhelming confidence that Bitcoin is going to appreciate from here? Or do you feel some uncertainty? The sentiment in the market kind of resembles what I felt in 2017. It seems that we've got a lot of retail traders that have just recently entered into the market, and it seems like all my friends just discovered that it was alt season, which means they're going to buy. And this does start to feel toppy. So in that case, the wise decision would be to move into dollars, which is the rationale for inflation hedged assets retracing, investors moving into cash, but not for long, because their plan with that cash is to scrape up opportunities that are going to emerge on the other side of the fence, kind of in the post-COVID world. But I don't think we're going to see that, because I think the world's been altered a little bit in a way that opens individuals up to things like cryptocurrency, things like decentralization, things like Bitcoin, and we're going to see that continue to progress. And I think gold and silver as well. So I think those are going to continue to appreciate. That would be my rationale behind that. Certainly could be wrong, but it makes good emotional and intuitive sense. Let's see. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for Bitcoin here. I did want to look at intraday price action too. Now we did call a BTC USD long you can see right there the two red lines where we established limit entries. Now, that was after Bitcoin broke resistance right here. And so also, I want to give a shout out while I'm here on the stream. Let me pull up Discord. And who was it that I was talking to in there? Yeah, so in our Discord server, in the technical analysis channel, Nacho Petian had posted some charts for a setup that he was looking for on RLC, I believe. make sure, RCN, excuse me. And he had seen a breakout on RCN. He was waiting for a pullback to enter in on a retest and then take price up to his profit target. And I really appreciate the tenor and the content of his narrative as he continued to post charts as the trade or lack thereof, because he wasn't in it, evolved. Because again, he didn't get an entry. Price broke out above resistance. So he wanted to wait for price to pull back. He didn't get that. There was no pullback. Price just continued to run. And even when price hit his first take profit, he says here, and I quote, TP1 hit without me on board. RSI divergence on lower time frames. Waiting for my entry. Patience is the name of the game. Now, whether Nacho, whether you go on to be a great trader or whether I don't know your profitability, but I can certainly tell you that that is the mindset of a successful trader. Those are the words that successful traders use. That is the mantra. And how he concludes the trade here with his final chart: didn't pull back to my level. The idea was good, but the entry was not. On to the next trade. So, huge shout out to you, my friend. And again, the reason why I relate this is something particularly, I guess, discretionary in when markets are particularly bullish. There's often not a lot of pullback when price breaks resistance, when you're looking for a breakout trade. I think that is a bit of a misnomer. It works well. For example, BPCs, break pullback continuations, are a setup that I like to look for, but they often only occur when markets are trending weakly. Or when markets are moving in consolidation broadly, when there's not a strong trend. When there's a strong trend, particularly if we are in the euphoria area, and again, we did just hit extreme greed on the fear and greed index, so there's a lot of market euphoria going on right now. When price breaks out, it just tends to run because every single trader, every single individual is just kind of blindly buying and investing in what's the next thing that's going to pump. And that, I can certainly say with confidence that that is what the mood is in the cryptocurrency world right now, on Twitter, on YouTube, in Discord, on Telegram. The sentiment is, what is the next random coin that's going to pump that I've never heard of? And
well, that's certainly a very different feeling from the bull market. That's for sure.
It's certainly a different feeling from like 1 month ago,
A month ago, we were trapped under 10K, and it seemed like we were never getting out. So as soon as we break above it, suddenly sentiment shifts on a dime.
I don't know that it really shifted on a dime. Shitcoin season started in May, and it took people quite a while to really, I'd say the broader crypto sphere. I mean, certainly there's been plenty of people here and on a couple other channels too, who have been like, hey, look at all these coins over here. But yeah, I don't think it's turned on a dime. I think it took people a while to take notice to get to where we are.
So the reason why I brought that up was kind of looking at the setup on Bitcoin. We saw this break of resistance and a potential reversal within the trend, because the trend is bullish. We see a double bottom opportunity here. And
Someone stopping to sneeze.
Justin? Did we lose him?
I think he's there.
May have lost
yeah,
him.
sorry, just 1 second, guys.
I think he was not stopping for a quick sneeze or something.
Let's see.
All right, and I'm back, guys. Sorry about that.
Ooh.
All right, so as I was saying here, I wanted to look at this intraday price action because, again, we see this break of resistance, and we see this potential trade that we were not able to get our initial limit entry in on. Because, again, remember that we had posted this trade as we broke resistance, and we were looking for a pullback to take price up here to the green box territory, which was our profit area. Now, that didn't occur. We did actually hit the profit area before the pullback to entry. So, again, just a particular, perhaps put that in your discretionary position sizing kind of toolkit, or your discretionary entry sizing. Again, some individuals, when they receive a technical indicator, will apply a bit of discretion, and that's not what I recommend, particularly for those new to trading or building their first system. But if you're aware of this, this is how over time you build a discretionary system. You notice patterns as you trade your mechanical system. Your mechanical system is something that is just hard-coded rules, no discretion whatsoever, no deviation from the rules. And over time, over several years of trading a system like that, you will notice things in the market, right? You will notice a pattern that you like, that you just think is interesting. So if you notice something interesting in the market that you think that there's something to this, right? And this could be anything. I see this all the time. Individuals will DM me and say, hey, have you noticed that when the Ichimoku does this, we always do that? Or have you noticed that anytime we put in a pattern that looks like this, price does that? Note those things down. Don't trade them until you've tested them, but note them down. And when you feel you're ready, that's kind of the journal, that's kind of the notebook that you'll go to when you want to establish discretionary aspects to your trading. That's how you build a discretionary trading system. With your ideas, with your inspirations, things that you've noticed genuinely in the market. So price did reject from this area. As we can see, we dumped all the way back down, got our initial limit entry on this trade right here, and then pushed up to the profit area. So again, we didn't hit the posted take profit, the 11.7. I have to go check. 11.685. Excuse me. We didn't hit the posted take profit. And again, I want to make this very clear for the premium members that are watching this. This trade was pulled from the trade tracker last night at about, I want to say about 11 p.m. to 12 p.m. 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. last night. So
you'd be in profit, but you shouldn't be in it.
Yep. So what I posted this morning to the market analysis for my morning analysis was individuals in this trade. Obviously, we've hit our first entry fill and we are up. So we are not in this trade. This is a trade that we pulled. I
actually just exited that trade.
Yep. The recommendation is
in profit, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the recommendation is if you're in this trade, close it if you want to be following with the premium signal service. Otherwise, you will need to use your own discretion as to when to exit the trade, where to move your stop loss. All right. The next order of business. So we've talked about. So quick summary here. We've talked about the swing failure pattern potentially forming on Bitcoin. We've talked about the toppiness feeling in the market. We've talked about the exuberance of the market, and then overall my rationale for individuals wanting to move into cash because they do feel that things are somewhat leveling out. Now, keep in mind the trend is still bullish, so I still am holding Bitcoin spot long. What I will be doing out of this area, though, is I'm going to be placing a small hedge. So I'm going to hedge 30% of my account. Remember that I keep my account in BTC. Keep my account in BTC. I do not sell my BTC for dollars. That's my personal strategy. I will warn you guys in advance. That sounds sexy, but individuals have tried that strategy over the years through the trading group, and it is difficult to do. It's difficult to do. Hedging becomes very quintessential. Capital management across exchanges becomes quintessential. And if you're not prepared to do the math and be on that every single day, be on top of that every single day, it might not be the best strategy for you. But if you are on top of it, then this means that you really get to pack a punch when Bitcoin puts in large price appreciation because you're all in Bitcoin. And similarly, if price moves down. So I am going to be taking a 30% hedge out of this range. If price does move down, I'll be doing that at daily close today. If price moves down below the 11,060 area that I talked about, I'll be putting on another 30% hedge. And then I do not have an objective entry trigger for the remaining 40% of my account. It will likely be on the baseline cross, which is generally the initial initiator for that particular setup anyways. All right. I do not have any interesting thoughts on Ethereum, so I will leave that to Alex if he wants to take a look at Ethereum. So I am just going to throw the current trades of the day that I think are interesting or interesting setups that I see at you guys and let you do what you want with them. So I guess notable mentions, not really setups, but notable mentions obviously are going to be Waves because we do have a large price appreciation from Waves. Waves continuing on, and again, if I do remember correctly, Waves was listed on the perpetual futures on Binance yesterday. So again, a good reason for Waves to be popping off here. But this is just a huge movement from Waves. Almost 60%, I think, from actual candle low to high. almost 80%, excuse me, 60% from candle open. So big shout out, big congratulations to individuals holding waves. These, you know, I don't know why, but I want to correlate this just briefly to something that I talked about yesterday in my 5 tips, which was I do not think that over diversification is the way that individuals want to go when they're looking for long-term holds, right? A rising tide lifts all boats. And while not every single coin is going to put in 10x gains, most of them will put in 3, 4, 5. This is just the reality when we're dealing with alt season. These are the most volatile assets in general that we can trade. And when we have bullish markets like this, all individuals out there, this is a common mistake, right? This is a mistake that I made in the equities markets back in the day. When bullish trends would emerge in the market, individuals, I would tend to kind of take profit too early and then move that profit into something else, rather than stick with, and we're talking about long-term holds, not really trades here, rather than stick with the long-term holds that I felt comfortable with. And I think that's very important for cryptocurrency, because if you have picked up the projects, the coins, the tokens that you do actually have a lot of faith in, that you've done your research on, that you feel very strongly about, then just hold those and wait, because your time will come, likely. You know, individuals can make the big mistake of seeing their coin move up 20% and seeing other things move up 500%. And so they'll take their 20% gain and go out hunting for something that's similar to that other coin that appreciated. And while it might make sense for you to analyze that sector and perhaps pick up another long-term hold if you find something attractive, I do not think that you should disrespect your former self, your former analysis, unless something has happened objectively in your plan to make you no longer want to hold that coin. If your coin hasn't moved yet, wait. Don't forsake your long-term holds, because
that would happen to me sometimes in other alt seasons too, where I would pick a coin and then other coins would start popping off and I get really frustrated, and then I would dump that coin, maybe at a slight loss, maybe near break even, but obviously with fees it's going to be basically at a loss. And then I would try and hop into one of the other coins, which would stop moving, and then the coin that I had gotten out of would pump, and it was just like reverse whack-a-mole.
Yep. That's what it feels like. And the opposite side of that too is if you do over diversify, then I don't really think that you get very good returns overall, because now you're faced with that same kind of problematic decision, like, oh, do I take profit here? Do I take profit? Oh, move 50%. Do I take profit here? Or are you really waiting? Are you willing to wait the years, months necessary to kind of maximize the potential return on this? You're forced with making that problematic decision on your huge bag of assorted shitcoins. You know, do you know how many conversations I've had with people about basically their trading behavior in 2018 and how we can correct that? And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at your portfolio. What are you holding? And invariably, almost always, people are like, okay, well, I've got this, and man, I picked up this, and man, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is. Where did this has been delisted. If you over diversify, and it's easy to do with crypto tokens, I don't know.
It makes it really difficult to manage your trades too. I got to tell you guys, I literally do this professionally, as in like Justin, Justin hired me to make trades and manage them for the group and stuff like that. So I can really only manage like 15 to 20 trades for the group at a time. It's hard. It's hard keeping track of them, and we've got systems for that and everything. I can't imagine being a singular person and trying to be diversified into 10 and 15 coins and trying to manage that for myself. It's I think it'd be very difficult, especially if you're not used to it.
Yeah, there's a huge psychological aspect to this too. It's kind of like, I always use the relationship analogy, where one moment, perhaps you're having a troubled relationship, but you're still together, right? You're still like your friends and doing things. But then that day comes where you have the talk and you're no longer together and things are completely different, 180, right? So I feel this is very similar in investing. If you scoop up, which it's very easy to do right now, I'm seeing it happen in DeFi right now. People, and again, they might be rewarded for it in the short term. But again, I saw what happened to individuals that just started randomly buying projects that they had never heard of, just on the Pumponomics back in 2017, 2018. So they got fleeced. Sorry, was the spoiler alert on that. So if you are holding, 3 to 5 coins that you have researched, that you feel confident about, and you go into a bear market and price moves down, you will likely have the grit necessary because you have the confidence necessary to hold those positions and wait until the market recovers. Whereas if you have got 37 random coins that you're not even sure where you can redeem them or where you can sell them, if you lose confidence in the broader market, you're going to feel very depressed because you're going to look at your portfolio, you're going to look at your bags. Well, excuse me. So you're going to look at your portfolio and you're just going to see bags, and you will feel defeated. You will, right? I've seen it a lot of times. I've felt it myself because you've purchased things that you really didn't want to purchase, right? Or you've invested in things that you really didn't want to invest in. So, all right, let's go to the next kind of coin of interest here, and that is going to be Numenair. A day would not be complete if we did not look at Numenair. All right, so shout out to Tika Tawari. Numenair, one of the big shills of the Palm Beach crypto group. The shilliest of the shilly out there on the streets. But Numenair up in just an amazing massive pump, 185% on yesterday. Bittrex coin here. I do believe it's listed on a few other exchanges now.
Look at that fuck you candle 2 days ago, where they just made sure to stop every last person out they could.
Yep. Did not want them holding their precious Numenair. So we are. We have formed a new high in the market. We do have some support around 280,000 sats. This is, in my opinion, well out of the league of entry. Listen, accumulation, I want to make this very, very clear, and it doesn't really matter what chart we look at. Now, granted, there are some charts that might be different, but for the most part, guys, accumulation time is over. We're not in accumulation anymore. We are in active market phase. And when you're in active market phase, you have to accept something that's very, very difficult for people to accept because people want to be right and they look for confirmation bias. When you are in active market phase or in a bullish trend, you don't know when it's going to end. You don't know how long it's going to go. You have no idea. You have no idea. Generally, your best bet in a bullish trend is to buy pullbacks, right? And again, that is my primary strategy. I don't want to short down to 10,500 or 10,200. I want to wait. I want to hold, let price move to the downside. I will hedge to protect my USD value a bit because I do need to pay bills. And then I'll be looking to scoop up longs. I'll be looking for reversals within the trend or reversal baseline bounces, literally any excuse I can find to buy things. So watch NMR here for a pullback. I do like Numenair. It's a quality project. So that's about all I have to say on that. So just big congratulations to anybody who's still holding NMR and appreciated the pump. Remember to take profits on the way up, regardless of what the coin is, because this is a huge movement to the upside. And again, wait for a pullback. I don't know if you guys have anything kind of interesting that points out to you. I do not know if there was any kind of catalyst or fundamental reason behind this.
Let me take a look.
I don't know myself on that, but something that goes into my trading these days is the whole mentality of not my trade or missed it. Like you said, okay, this has gone into active markup phase. So in my mind, whenever I hear gone into active markup phase, means that I
Coinbase listing news.
Oh, did it get listed to Coinbase?
It's going to be listed on Coinbase Pro.
We got the Stratus pump, the Numenair pump. Yep.
That's how you know the bull market's back. The
Yeah, we got a
Coinbase
lot.
effect is back.
I mean, look at TRX, RVN, Neo. All of those today are starting to pump.
Neo's up like 3%.
Look at the hourly chart.
Just
I mean, it's starting.
Zoom in.
So
Zoom
let's
in.
look at enhance, guys. All right, so let's look at one other kind of larger cryptocurrency that I do think is interesting here. Is Digibyte. I actually do find Digibyte pretty interesting here. It's it is low sat around 269. You got to get above 1,000 sats to be considered mid sat, in my opinion. So anything below 1,000 is going to be low sat territory. This is certainly low sat season. Low sats are pumping the most, and that's it's mathematics. They have lower liquidity, they have a lower market capitalization, and so it's easier for them to move larger numbers. But I don't think that, again, just in case anybody's unclear about the risk management that I practice, just because I find DGB interesting, I don't think that individuals should bet the farm or go all in. I think that DGB, if one is looking for a low sat to add to their, what I would consider a YOLO trade, right? I get maybe two at the max open at any given time, right? We're looking for something that's low sat, something that can move a lot, and the technicals are good. So DGB I like quite a bit. The community is good, the development is good, the coin is good. It's been around for a long time, and I do like it here technically as we move up. I would like to see price above 300 here. If we can get price above 300, I'd feel pretty bullish here on DGB, or excuse me, I would see that as confirmation of my bullish sentiment here on DGB. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to look at two other coins, kind of by request, honestly, via the Discord. The first one is going to be PNK, or as it's called, Kleros. So we'll pull open Kleros over here on CoinGecko. This is available on Uniswap. So this is going to be two Uniswap coins right here. Now, I've seen this. Let's say I assume it, because somebody posted a comment on one of our YouTube videos asking why we hadn't reviewed Kleros. So I did a little bit of searching, and I saw that same comment has been posted on many other crypto YouTube channels. So it is a form of advertisement. It is a form of shill, which informed my initial thought here. So I've seen about 5 people in our Discord talking about PNK and talking about the fundamentals. Well, all I can say is I get a little worried when I see something being shilled on YouTube by what appears to be a bot of some sort. So again, I've looked into kind of how this token operates, being part of this jury system, and it's integrated with another token or a swap system. I'm certainly on the fence about PNK. I think that individuals can take a trade on it. That's absolutely fine. I do not see what is inherently fundamentally valuable about this particular project. If individuals would like to provide me with evidence to the contrary, but I kind of have identified my 2 main points there: being shilled on YouTube randomly, and kind of not an attractive use case on its face, which again does not mean, has nothing to do with its ability to appreciate in price. If anything in crypto, if my time in cryptocurrency has taught me anything, it's that anything can pump. So again,
Not
looking
only
at
that, fundamentals don't even mean anything in the regular stock market anymore. The fundamentals really matter that much in crypto right now.
Right. So let's just look at PNK here. We've formed a.
Oof, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So again, bullish market, nice retracement. This is not a time to buy, right? This is not a time to buy. If you, again, some individuals may purchase here, price may continue to go up, just green candles into the horizon. I think that is possible, but certainly not a well testable strategy. So I trade what is likely. So if we're looking for an optimum entry here on PNK, I would recommend letting other individuals rush in and buy these green candles and kind of get their trading investment tips from bots that post on YouTube, and wait for a retracement, right? Just like this offered up a beautiful opportunity because most individuals are not going to be okay with sitting through a 40 to 50% correction. We see people jump out of windows for those kind of movements. All right, so P and K I'm a little worried about, but there is a Uniswap coin that I like, and that's DMG. I do like DMG here. DMG has retraced quite a bit. Yes, we've got some fibs up on the chart because when we do not have any market data, it's a convenient way to do some measurements. So we have formed a swing low. We have not yet formed a higher low, which is really what I want to see here. We can see price moving up and testing the initiation of selling, right? So we see this cup pattern. I don't like cups and handles. I've never seen cups and handles play out in cryptocurrency. It is not the worst, but one of the worst chart
Would you
patterns.
call that maybe that's a diamond bottom though?
What I think it's going to
Diamond
what I think it's going to be, what I see very, very often in crypto is an Adam and Eve. Yeah. So a rounded bottom followed by a V-shaped bottom. Or again, it could be like a shallop where it just kind of curves up and then just keeps going. But this is a pretty good area. I would like to pick up some DMG here. I've already made one accumulation of DMG here. So what I'm waiting for to buy more is to see price form a higher low and potentially even break resistance right here very conclusively, because we have so far, but we're forming a doji today. I think that we're likely to pull back. That would make me feel very comfortable if we did pull back here and confirmed this bottoming pattern. Being a little conservative on where I'd like to take this to, up to about the 50 area, 0.005. So yeah, DMG as far as Uniswap coins, and looking for opportunities. I do keep my eyes on Uniswap and identifying those coins that are in optimum entries and not those that are in their active markup, let's say. So different ways to trade this. One could, as you guys can see, I've traded what I would consider a very sketchy, potentially like falling wedge. A lot of white area in that falling wedge, as we can see. So, and I don't even like wedges. Again, I think wedges are one of the most horrible price actions patterns to trade. I hate wedges. So one could trade that wedge, though. Individuals love them. And consider this a breakout already, or again, one can consider this a breakout of resistance already. I think we're going to see DMG move up here with the rest of the DeFi coins as that trend continues, because I think that's going to take a minute to stall out because of the because of all the liquidity that's locked away in the system. Certainly these coins can be sold off very quickly by speculators, but there's a large chunk of the circulating supply that's just not going to be readily available for sale quickly. And it's going to be against investors' interests to do so because it's part of their convoluted yield farming scheme. So kind of an interesting safety mechanism, in my opinion, there built into the DeFi system, but we'll see how it plays out. All right. All right, the last thing I'm going to talk about, and then I'll slide the charts over to Alex and let him cover what he wants to cover. I just wanted to give you guys an update. Again, we've been doing this, I guess a little bit of a treat because of the unusual format, but this is the this is the premium live trades. This is the signal tracking spreadsheet that we utilize for our premium members. As you guys can see, listen, guys, I try to be a humble person, but I got to be real. We're crushing it. So the analyst team has been making fantastic calls. Jason, Alex, and myself, other contributors as well. And we're having a fantastic month of August. We went over this yesterday, so I just wanted to give some verbal updates on top of the updates that I gave in the Discord, because sometimes people watch the show, they don't check the Discord. But our ENG, or Enigma Bitcoin trade, did hit take profit 1, obviously. Because it moved so far, we went ahead and set a trailing stop loss. That trailing stop loss is appreciating with price as it moves up. The BTC USD trade that we had published yesterday was canceled. And we put on 2 new Forex trades betting against the Japanese yen. We also, I guess another update here too, is then later in the evening, Alex and myself got together and finally saw the entry triggers that we had wanted on our Verge and Neo position. So we are long on Verge and Neo as well. So very well-rounded portfolio here. I really love our long exposure in equities. I love the runners that we've had in the Forex markets. And Alex has gotten us into these amazing trends with 1 Bitcoin and FBTC. Pearl USDT was put together by the entire team. The Enigma and the the Forex trades I signaled for because Jason and Alex were both on vacation for similar days this week, and Virgin Neo were things that Alex and I were watching. So, but bigger shout out to Alex on Verge. That's really his baby. I just really looked at the chart and said, yeah, I agree. Let's go. So definitely want to give the credit to him. And speaking of Alex, let's slide over to him. Of course, if you guys are enjoying the content and the analysis today, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already, take some time, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel on YouTube. It helps us out more than you could possibly imagine. Leave a comment after today. And if you guys leave a comment, what I'd like you guys to talk about is what was your biggest mistake that you made in the 2017 bull market that you want to avoid in this bull market? And preferably, dig down deep. Tell me something that you've already changed. And what is your strategy to change that? Or if you haven't changed anything, if you find yourself making the same mistakes, let's work out an idea. You guys got big brains. Let's work this out together. Thanks, guys. Let's let Alex take it away.
Yep. All right. Stream has been recentered on Alex. So Alex, you are up. Your chart is visible.
Oh, hey. All right, guys. So
Right?
you guys can hear me, right?
Yep. You're coming all clear.
All right, good. Okay, so let's see. Not much going on in the major alts, with the exception of TRX, which is actually having a banger day. It's up. I think it's up in just like the last couple hours. Yeah. So in the last 4 hours, you can see we've kind of pulled up out of this consolidation area that TRX has historically really liked, and looking on higher time frames, it looks like it seems unlikely that this 3-day won't close like this. This is going to be a very strong. It's going to be a very strong bullish divergence on time transformation 3 days. So I think now may be the time to pick up Tron somewhere in this area, like maybe on the daily. We'll retest down a little bit, although it seems unlikely because we just did this accumulating here, consolidating here. Yeah. So let's see. If we took Tron, we'd probably first want to take it up to this area, roughly 238. And then maybe this area. So yeah, 230s, 280s. Something I'm looking at. Major alts are did not get that bounce out of XRP. See, we never really did get the crossover on that. We talked about that the other day, I believe. EOS still accumulating near the bottom of its range. ADA's been tapping at this at our accumulation area. We've been liking this area right here for picking up ADA, and just yesterday we started falling into this area. So this is where ostensibly we wanna pick up ADA, and then obviously hopefully if it doesn't fall any further, this is the second place where we would want to be picking it up. Let's talk about Ethereum. So Justin was talking about how Bitcoin is likely either pulling back here or going to be trading sideways. It just doesn't look like it's going to be blowing through 12K in the next couple of days at least. Ethereum looking much more bullish here. As you can see, we're getting a really wonderful pullback on time transformation, our indicator here. And we're likely to get another cross up here above 0. And that's visible here on ETH Bitcoin, which we've been in since this candle right here. This is where we entered. So I was thinking we might get a pullback on Ethereum all the way to this area. And as you can see, I have this drawn out here, and we discussed it on the show previously. But now it's looking that might not be the case. If you're a conservative trader, I would enter as soon as we closed above 3,500 here, and then I would immediately take that up to 40. Here we go. This area right here. So if we break above here, this is the area I would take it to. But yeah, Ethereum is looking much stronger than Bitcoin here. I would continue to, if you're in a Bitcoin long, I would not abandon it because you're abandoning, or excuse me, if you're in an Ethereum long, I would not necessarily abandon it here because you're abandoning the Bitcoin long. We might see a decoupling here. So that's how I'm kind of looking to play that. If you know what, if let's go back to Ethereum here. If Ethereum did break below 380, then I'd be like, oh yeah, let's dump this. Then it'll probably fall all the way back down to here. But it kind of doesn't look like it's doing that. This looks pretty strong as far as support goes. If we'll find out if we break above this level at all, then most likely we'll get the continuation onwards up to 450, which is where I've really been targeting. As I stated previously, I like this consolidation right here for us to kind of like splash up into, and then do some consolidation of its own.
Yeah, I would agree that any close above that formation on the daily would be definite signs of continuation.
Yeah. But this here is, if you ask me, this is super bullish behavior
And
out of
bottom-
time transformation. Yeah.
Bottoming above zero, I believe you call it.
Yeah, but I mean, just it's a pullback on an
Yeah.
overbought indicator. It's good oscillator behavior, regardless of what you think about TT. Like if you know an oscillator, this is good bullish behavior right here. Now, let's just take a look at this real quick. No, not DeFi coins. I actually want to look at derivative products. As you guys can see, Bitcoin dominance is still falling. Why? Because money is pouring out of Bitcoin while it is pouring into shitcoins and mid-cap coins, which are, let's zoom out here, which are just unstoppable. As you can see, we never did even get this little itty-bitty pullback here. I think we should continue to, alt season is continuing, guys. For right now, it does not look like Bitcoin is going to be putting the hammer on alts, at least this week. Let's take a look at some of the red listers, our watch list. So QLC. What I tell you guys, I told you to buy here. Buy. Look at that. 1, 2, triple bottom, takes off. If you're not in QLC, you could still get in QLC here. You wouldn't really want to use a stop. I would be cautious about your position size, but this is bullish up to this area is where I would take it to. So beautiful entry on that. It was so classic. Classic retest of resistance turned support reaccumulation area. Let's take a look at DOC. I believe we were looking at DOC over here as a nice retest of resistance turn support, with the resistance being visible back here. I like DOC to this area right here. ZIL kind of continuing a pace. I believe I told you guys to layer buys when it was here. Hopefully you got some of those filled. It doesn't look like ZIL really wants to pull back here. The 3-day, I don't know, kind of looks like a 3-bar play to me. We'll have to see, but yeah, it looks like we're going to get a continuation here, and I wouldn't be surprised if ZIL continued on upwards. What else we got? AMB. I called this one back here that you should buy here on the falling volume, and that's borne out. It looks like we're holding above resistance here. The rest of the market is bullish. I'd love to see a continuation right here. I think we could get it. But you should really already be in A and B. I wouldn't necessarily want to enter this area. ZEC, we got a heavy pullback in this area right up here. Did I have this circled as an ideal exit spot? Because if so, I'm amazing. Yeah, I think I did like this as final resistance. So this area was the bottom of the trading range, and then this is like final resistance before we break into this trading range up here. And it looks like we did reject from this area. I would imagine we'll probably retest the top of this, maybe once, twice or so, and then continue onwards right here. But ZEC here has been a very bullish privacy coin, and you wouldn't want to discount it yet just because we're having this strong pullback right here. Synthetics. Riding the wave of DeFi coins, guys. Swipe. Super bullish. Didn't I say we should get into swipe a few days ago, Justin? Saying.
You did. That's for sure.
Anyway, it's beautiful. If it's too late, guys, this is going, gone. This is where you wanted to enter, or otherwise, I mean, obviously, here's where you're the best time to plant the trees 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So here would have been the next best place to enter. What else we got here? Genesis Vision Tech. This tapped our area, and this is just super bullish. It's about to take off. I would not enter here because you're buying resistance. You're probably going to have to enter up here, which I know it seems like a little perverse to be like, don't enter in a worse position up here. But I mean, we could see another pullback here. You just don't know what the market's going to do. So don't buy resistance. Wait. But I would probably want to take it up to this area, honestly. It seems like these are minor resistances, really, and this is where. So this could be a 3xer. This is strong. FET. We were in this, and I think we took profits. Did we take profits here? We shouldn't have. We should have stayed in it because of the way the market is. But honestly, I would any close above this area, I would long with extreme prejudice. It looks like FET is just going to continue onwards here. Probably to this area is where you want to take it. So this is another 3xer. XLM, this is in our accumulation area still. So this might be a location to be picking this up. XLM is strong. It's I've always liked XLM's fundamentals. I feel like they don't spend too much money on marketing, and they just kind of like put themselves in creating blockchain stuff. And anyway, I'm not a fundamentals guy. I'll let you guys do the reading on that, but it's interesting. Ren. Tapped our accumulation area. Been super bullish. This could be a good pullback to get in on. There's just no more history on this, guys. If you can layer your buys this way, I would. Most likely we're going to I don't see us like, oh, this was the all-time high right here, and then Brent is just going to break down from here. No, most likely we're going to get a pullback from here, and then continuation onwards right here. So, yeah, Ren is still a possibility. It's very, very, very bullish here. Verge. Why are we calling that? Because in this area where I told you guys to pick up, we've broken above it, and now we're kind of retesting here. And we want to take that up into this area right here, this nice consolidation area that Verge loves to trade in. Quest Network, right up out of our accumulation area. I think I told you guys to buy here. Oh, it's beautiful. I don't know. This is looking a little overextended. I would love it if we could get a small pullback to here and then take rec up further to this area. So I take that up to the 600, 700s. QKC, it did kind of break down out of our accumulation area, but I don't know. Maybe just want to consider it a fake out, or I didn't draw my box big enough. What do I think? It's not a super strong signal. It's a good signal, but I would have rather seen a pullback to this area here. We're still kind of under resistance here. I don't like it yet. Just take this off. There's better ones. All right, and then these are the things that we had been looking at. We haven't been over mid caps in a while. Let's just do a quick run through, and then what do we have on the agenda, guys?
I might cover some news real quick. Maybe get Jason's. Maybe Jason wants to hop on, show us anything on the charts. Maybe a few requests in the live chat. See if anybody wants us to pull up a chart.
Yeah. Okay. Anything looking ripe here?
There's some questions that I wanted to answer that I was scrolling through the live
chat. This looks ripe here, doesn't it? Look at this volume come in.
Yeah,
Morse code
4 days
in the
of
chat had said, I believe when we were talking about when trends move and when trends end, essentially, that one doesn't know when you're in the market phase of a trending market, when you're in a bullish phase, when the trend will end. And he had made a comment here that a proper trading system which, this is funny because this sounds like some of our best members in the community, right? Who get like they come into the community not knowing anything about systems building, and then after they build a system, the mantra is trust the system. That's really cool to see. But he says here a proper trading system will tell you exactly when the trend will change, and I think that's incorrect. I think that's absolutely incorrect. A proper trading system will tell you when to take action on trading a trend. But one could argue that the trend really does start at the market reversal. That's when the market stops from moving up, right? Moving in one direction, moving up continuously, to moving down on average continuously. Kind of the definition of a trend. So what I was really speaking to was reversals. Individuals love to call tops and bottoms in markets. I think it's one of the worst things that they can do. It's one of the most statistically unlikely things to happen. But yeah, when you are in a bullish phase, you never know exactly when it's going to end. When are you going to hit that reversal consolidation end period where we are no longer going to continue moving up on average, and we're going to begin moving down on average. So again, a good trading system will generally tell you when to take action on that, but I have never seen a very good reversal system. I've seen people get lucky. That's what I meant by that. Oh, and shout out to Scrooge McDuck. I see him in the chat. Crypto Cash wants to know one coin that can get him rich fast. He's tired of working. Anything?
I said it in the chat there. I said just buy Bitcoin and DCA for a year and don't trade it.
Yeah. Nope. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Buy Justin Coin.
It's not out yet, but we're about to get the pre-sale going.
It's the wise choice.
I'm gonna put the
Trade
put the
wisely.
the contract address
Ooh, nice.
here in the chat. Iron Cack in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. Prophet Bear says, yeah, right. So it's bullish, but we shouldn't buy it. Andrew says, when I log in, Justin is always hating on me. No Elliot, no channels, no Andrew's P Fork, no fib. Come on, man, dude. I tossed a fib in just for you, Andrew. I got you, man. Cryptonomics says, if you know how to use GAN and embedded harmonics, you can predict price very easily. I have some friends who have gone down that rabbit hole. Does not work for me. Very similar to Elliott waves.
GAN also liked to use moon phases and the signs of the zodiac and stuff in his trading, and like I don't know, maybe it worked for GAN, but I cannot square GAN trading with my view of the universe.
That's like being a Bigfoot expert. Like, how are you an expert on something you haven't found?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. So I would say that there's schools of trading or different kind of categories we could put traders into. The ones that are the pretty simple ones, as defined by Mark Douglas, trading in the zone, are mechanical, discretionary, and intuitive. And I would put a Pathways to Profit system as mechanical. The skill that you learn from trading that system, as I've said, you notice things in the market and eventually build the discretionary system. And a reversal baseline bounce would be an example of discretion applied to a mechanical system or a discretionary system. And intuitive trading is when you try to feel the market. Now, there's analysis here, obviously, because we're using indicators in the form of GAN and looking for harmonic patterns, butterflies, Gartleys, all that kind of thing. But it is intuitive. I think that's the right word for it, right? You are attempting to kind of feel the market, and I think that certain individuals will always be attracted to not only live like that, but trade like that. That is not the route that I've chosen to take with my life. I've certainly gone the scientific method, objective, reproducible data, back testing. And so I'm very, very leery and weary of anything that's intuitive, because I don't see it work for most people. I see it work for 5 people, right? And those 5 people are the same 5 people that let's call them like the popular kids in high school, right? They were the best. Nobody was better than them. They knew everything, and you couldn't tell them any different, right? So I don't think that those strategies, those applications, are going to translate well to just about everybody who encounters them. And I think that the the individuals who are naturally attuned and have success with that might be a little overconfident. But then again, this is trading, where the side hustle of any trader is, according to Twitter, I guess, to brag about how good of a trader they are.
Tony Lopez asks if 20% gold daily gains is a good starter for a trader to build a long-term portfolio. If you're hitting 20% a day, bud, give me a call. That's a fantastic. 1% a day would be insane compounding.
Let's see here. Let me read the question. Is 20% gold daily gains good for? Yeah, that's yeah. If you're able to achieve that, as Jason said, please.
That's the
submit-
goal of a
submit an
man
application.
who is. That's the goal of a man who is going to die bankrupt.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or heck, maybe that's the next Elon Musk we got.
I was
in the
gonna
chat.
say that he's gonna have more than Elon very soon.
Yeah.
Please
hire us to manage your wealth.
Yes.
Robin here just rebalanced their portfolio by selling Link for Ethereum. Caused a lot of profit because of a lot of profits on Link. And they want to hold mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum and just a few alts, even though they love Link long term. My thoughts. Well, listen, if you've sold your Link, that trade's done, right? So if we look at the Link chart right now, we're going to see a big green candle. I don't think that's a great time to enter, because unlike some of the charts that we've looked at, I like objective facts. I like objective words. I like objective setups, right? If this, then that. I don't like to look at a chart and say this looks good, this looks bad, this is maybe blah blah blah.
I like it.
The only thing I'm looking for is there a setup here that I have defined in my strategy creation process? Pathways to Profit is a strategy creation process. There are others out there, but I like my approach, right? And you can develop a strategy any way you want. You can sit down and identify aspects of the market that you feel are repeatable and that you can that utilizing those can translate to an edge. So, for example, you can say, I want to be a breakout trader. Okay, what does that mean? What is a breakout in your dictionary? Is it when the candle closes above what exactly? Is it is it two candles that close above what exactly? All of those things need to be defined. If they're not defined, then you don't have a strategy. What you have is you have a very amorphous dictionary of wishy-washy terms and most likely trading results to back that up. That's what, and it's adopting that level of definition. It is by actually pulling out the pieces of paper and writing down the rules, writing down the conditions, writing down the triggers for my entries, the triggers for my exits, the rules for my position sizing. That was completely responsible for allowing me to make the transition from unprofitable trader to profitable trader. And yeah, so looking at Link, I don't see a setup in that same vein of what I was talking about. So I would certainly want to see Link essentially get sold off massively before I would want to enter Link again. The sentiment on Link is beyond frothy. So although Link, I think, is a good thing to continue holding as the market is bullish, I don't think it's a good thing to be buying, because when you buy something in a style where you're chasing the dragon, essentially, right? You're chasing that big green candle. You got a terrible entry, and you got this. You've got all the conditions that are there that would set you up to be a bag holder all the way down during a correction or bear market. So, kind of like not putting yourself in a situation where you can get hurt. Don't put yourself in a situation where you can get wrecked if you can prevent it. Bitcoin and Ethereum are good holds. Hedge if necessary. And there's nothing wrong with sitting in USD or stable coins even if you feel uncertain about the direction of the market. That is a good alternative to hedging, and the one I actively recommend for new traders. Not to hedge, but to move into USDT or USDC or PAX or split it up however you like. You know, I say I trade USDT, and I've been very critical of Bitfinex and the Tether Treasury, but it's my personal strategy. So I think that's good. I think that it's good that you took profit on a DeFi coin that is just charging the charts right now, that is at all-time highs, that you moved it into something stable, a little bit more reliable, that you want to hold Bitcoin and Ethereum, and hold your altcoins that you're not ready to sell yet. But the trade on Link, if you've already rebalanced, if you've already sold, that trade's done. Do not look back with any regret. Look back with nothing but joy over the gains that you've made. Not a single second of your thinking should go into, well, if I would have held this, I could have got this. That is useless, losing mentality. Don't think that way. You were able to purchase an asset, take it up, make profit off of it. You're a winner, man. So remember that when you're looking back on that Link trade. And I think the best mindset and strategy moving forward is to identify a setup for re-entry into a bullish market, which I would recommend buying on pullbacks, reversal baseline bounces, reversals within the trend, or a continuation signal from a PTP system. But congratulations, man. Good job on Link.
I will add that he sounds like he's made a wise decision, or at least taken some of your advice into not overly diversifying. You know, you potentially taking profits where it's wise to do so, and keeping your portfolio maybe heavy in Bitcoin and Ethereum, for instance, maybe the big cryptos in the space, is likely the safest bet to go, and the least likely to slap you in the face. So wise move. Don't over diversify, guys, and taking opportunities to take profit and stack those sats is, I think, always a smart move.
Amen. Amen. Was there some news you wanted to go over, Jack?
Yeah, I can dive into the news. Alternatively, there was a few more chart requests I saw in the chat. Let me scroll through that.
Would you mind moving the stream over to my my screen then?
Yep, give me 1 second. All right, here we go. Justin is now up on the stream.
All right. What? Let me see. Sorry, here 1 second. Let me see exactly what I am sharing again. Okay. All right. You guys should be seeing Bitcoin. I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yep, Justin's Bitcoin chart is up on the screen. I'm just trying to see who was asking for what chart.
All right.
Someone was asking for Band USD, Mr. Ether. Can we maybe put Band up if we haven't already?
Sure. So
Yep.
Band was a trade we took in the, or excuse me, Band was a trade that was signaled from the premium signal service. And let me actually just go look at that trade, because that was closed yesterday after hitting the trailing stop loss on that run up. Yeah, so Beam USDT, we signaled on the 6th of August. So not too long ago. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm used to having 5 monitors and very cleanly delineated. It's a little tricky to do this on a laptop. All right, so yeah, on the 6th of August, continuation signal. This was a valid PTP continuation signal that we got from the current PTP system that we're utilizing for the premium signal service for those trend following trades. And we were able to capture a very good gain, the second half of this leg up on Band. Now, Band's been incredibly bullish ever since its launch. Good fundamentals behind Band. I do like Band. I certainly don't like it right here. The only setup that we could really see from here is going to be a breakout trade at an all-time high. So we have formed a swing high. So if you want to use that as a frame of reference, that is 1778 over here on Binance. I would, while I don't expect a retrace, you can't really expect a retrace when the market is bullish in general. That means if the market is bullish, that means that the probability of price moving down is lower on average than the probability of price moving up. So what is most likely to happen is that actually band continues to move up here. That's the definition of a bullish trend. But I don't really see a setup that I'd be comfortable with to re-enter band on this with this kind of setup. Yeah, I would like to see a retrace. I'd like to see a pullback. I would like to see a reversal within the trend or a continuation signal, which I think is going to probably take a while, seeing as we just got one here. But let's take a look. Take a look. So we're banking on a continuation signal here. Yeah. And actually, I think we relate to the party on band. Yeah, because we could have, by all rights, entered down here on the 4th of August. Yeah, but we were making modifications to how the system was operating, so there were a few days of not delayed signals, but days where we did not do trades. Yeah,
it was downtime.
So a couple days late on the band trade, we decided to go ahead and take the trade because of its strength and also the 3-bar rule qualification allowed us to take the trade. Yeah, I don't see a setup here that I'd like. I do see the baseline coming in around 725.45, so that would be your pullback area target. Look for reversal baseline bounces there or reversals within the trend. I will say that I do like band. I just don't see a buying opportunity today. And I've laid out the opportunities where I think it would be valid.
All right, I hope that answers that question. I got another one here from Cody in the live chat. He's asking, hey guys, can we look at XRP? It's been forming a large wedge since August 2nd. Would you please take a look at XRP? Thanks.
Sure, let's go take a look at Ripple over on Bitfinex. And yeah, we do see price moving down, pulling back on low volatility, kind of resembling, again, I don't really like the idea of calling this a wedge because I don't find that wedges do what you want them to do. They don't work. And I also don't think this is a wedge at all.
Looks more like a descending channel to me.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. Yep. So if we connect the highs,
which could be
actually, excuse me,
which could be indicative of a breakout, though. So,
so let's connect these highs properly. If my chart will stop boxing with me. All right, and take the new low and connect there. Now, if we use those rules where we do not actually use the swing high and we use the lower high formed in the market, which might even properly be this high right here. But we're going to go ahead and use these two equidistant highs right here. And we don't start with a low until we actually have a new low formed in the market, which occurs right here. Then we actually have something that might be a broadening wedge, which I like a little bit more than your typical falling wedge. Still not a huge fan. But call it what you will. Price, the pattern in this case, again, I think that descending channels, and again, just going back to what I said for nearly weeks when we were talking about Bitcoin before we broke to the upside, when I did plot this descending channel, I was very upfront with you guys saying that I don't like descending channels. I am literally putting this on the chart so that we can have something to talk about because volatility is so low right now and we're not trading Bitcoin. So in that same vein, I don't think that falling patterns, descending patterns, whether they're channels or wedges or whatever you want to call them, I don't think that they matter. I don't think that it matters what we call them. I think that it matters what they imply. What it implies is that price is correcting on low volatility, meaning that there is a lot of buying or distribution or reaccumulation taking place in this area. If price was just done, if price was being sold off massively, then you would just see huge red candles to the downside. So this is more bullish than bearish to me, certainly looking at that. Look at the low volatility, look at the low size, the small size of the candles as price moves down, very tight range. Not a lot of opportunity in there for kind of range trading or intraday opportunities, depending on what time frame you're trading on. But yeah, I like the look of this. We've pulled back. I think we can pull back as far as 22,831, but I actually don't think that's likely. I think that we are going to see some bullish impetus on XRP here soon. And that hurts my heart to say because I don't like XRP. We did get, I do want to look at PTP here. So we did get our we did get our trending signal. We got one here, which would have been a losing trade. We already went over this a few days ago. And then XRP gave us continuation here, and we could have taken this all the way up. And we just got an exit signal yesterday, right? So we would have entered into this trend here, rode it all the way up, and exited here, right? Giving back a very small portion of the market. So price is right now properly in an area where we would be like, okay, what's our next move? And I think the right move on XRP is to look for continuation. Again, Alex said it best. The market is broadly bullish, looking for continuation entries. So again, if you like the wedge pattern, I really would caution against that, because I'm just telling you guys in advance, with having done this for a long time, wedges suck in crypto. Like, they do not work. Like everybody thinks they do. They don't. They have the worst stats of a pattern that I've ever looked at.
And that's kind of the problem with them, is because people will go back and historically try to make them into what they think they are, and then be like, see, look. But it never works like that in the moment.
Yep. Absolutely agree. Yeah, people, I think that people go and look at falling patterns, and then they see them like later on the chart, they see price breaking out. But it didn't break out because there was a falling pattern. Well, how do I say this correctly? The falling pattern is not necessarily the best setup to trade, even though price moving down on low volatility, correcting in that nature, is a bullish sign. I think that's the best way to put it. You guys can understand that. You guys are going to do well. Okay. Pullback targets, if we do actually sell off a little bit more here, would be around 23 cents, 22,831. So actually just a tick lower than 23 cents. If we close below 22,831, then we would be bearish. So looking for a continuation signal from your indicators, reversal baseline bounce all the way down to 22,831, 23 cents. I'd like, or what I am betting that we see here soon is a reversal within the trend setup. So we've had a pullback here. So we would want to put some sort of reversal indicator on the chart. Something like, well, let's use one of the ones that we've been utilizing recently, which is CM Williams VIX Fix. Yeah, finds market bottoms. So yeah, so we might get the signal on the daily, or what we might have to do is go down to the 4-hour and identify where the VIX Fix indicator begins firing. This is a reversal indicator, so we're looking for a reversal within the trend. We're only looking to go long because the trend is bullish, and lo and behold, what has VIX Fix been signaling in this lower range? Potential reversal. So this would be a slightly more aggressive entry than waiting for that reversal signal on the daily, but I actually like this. Assuming the one thing that will throw this off, like the technicals on this are really good. If Bitcoin USD does break down here, then just forget everything I just said. I mean, don't forget it. It's just going to be a losing trade because it's going to follow along. It's going to follow along to the downside. So good chart request, man. A lot to talk about there.
Congrats to anyone who took anyone in the premium group who took the SNGLS signal last night. I posted it. Just hit TP1 at 100 sats.
Jack, cue the confetti emoji. Go.
Let me fire that up.
We get those stream elements that we got on stream.
Indeed. Well, congrats anybody hit TP1 on that one. Good call. All right. Any other requests we want to cover? How long we've been running? Let's take a look. Ooh, hour
Almost
40
2 hours.
minutes. Yeah. All right. Maybe run through some news real quick. I think that's it for chart requests in the chat. You guys want to jump in the news with me?
Yep. Let's go.
Yep.
All right. Let's
Mid
do
caps
it.
look great, guys. Though they look fantastic.
Let's see here. Shout out to Zed, and there are that many Z's in his name in Discord. Asked me a question earlier at 11:26. Didn't get a chance to respond to you because I was busy working with the team for the show. But he had asked, by that I mean a retracement to mid 10K is likely at this point. By the way, I hope everything is getting better in Iowa. Thank you for the sentiment for things getting better in Iowa, my friend. I do appreciate that. And yes, as
I have power.
Yeah, it's not all of Iowa. It's just
Yeah.
my corridor. Actually, a lot of people. I mean,
There's a ton, 150,000 without power, something like that.
yeah, and that's what's reported. I'm sure we
Yeah.
could easily double that number just to be conservative.
All right.
Only one person dead though in Indiana. Makes sense. Moving on.
Thank
Did they
God.
blame it on COVID?
Oh boy, let's not get into that. All right.
All
First story. I just came across this. We were just talking about Ripple's. What's
I'm
up?
sorry to interrupt you.
What's up?
Is there any way that you can share your screen to Discord and still do what you do, so I can see
Absolutely.
you in real time? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard
Absolutely,
with the delay.
absolutely, guys. Let me fire up that screen share right now and pick my browser window, and that ought to do it.
Yep.
Check me out, boys. All right, good. So first story. This kind of follows up because we were just talking about Ripple a little while ago, and this one is Ripple transfers 25 million XRP. Jed McCaleb cashes out another 10 million. So of course the San Francisco-based Ripple, the blockchain payments company behind XRP, transferred a whopping 25 million XRP, and the co-founder and former CTO, Jed McCaleb, continues his streak of cashing out. So, according to an update on August 11th, Twitter bot XRPL Monitor, a wallet belonging to Ripple made two separate transfers of about 10 million and 15 million XRP. So these transactions are total almost $7 million worth of XRP. With 10 million in XRP being sent to a wallet belonging to the custody service BitGo. Really, so what we take away from this is the former CTO, Jeff McCaleb, with the co-founder, appears to be continuing the trend of Ripple insiders just dumping XRP on the market. So, you can draw what conclusions you like from this, but to me, it's like, how confident are these guys, even the co-founder, in the price or in the future of XRP if they're just dumping these tokens by the millions onto investors' heads? So it's a little unfortunate, but to me, it's like I never pass an opportunity to bag on XRP, and I guess here's just another example, right? Insiders dumping their tokens. I don't know if that bodes well for any kind of breakout to be heading the XRP way, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Any thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I will say that 25 number is interesting because in the past year, Ripple has donated $25 million worth of XRP to San Francisco State University, and they have also invested $25 million into what they called the next Uber. I'm trying to think of the company.
Couldn't be Lyft, right?
No, it was a blockchain based company.
Oh.
But so the 25 million moving. I will say, let's see here. I want to be cautious because I'd like to pour some acid here on Ripple, but
Surprise.
we do know that the largest transactions on the Ripple network go from one, from what I understand, one unknown wallet, or from the Ripple Foundation to an unknown wallet. So I don't know the full story behind that as well. The thing about Ripple is that it's everything they do is always kind of characterized by mistrust or shadiness. And I think that there's two reasons for that. One, you have a ton of cryptocurrency fans and kind of market participants and community members, all from everywhere, who are who have somewhat of an anti-capitalist bent, right? So the fact that there is a company behind Ripple, the fact that it's not decentralized, the fact that it is private, just privatized and centralized.
It's basically not crypto.
Right. It's gonna. So again, you've got the anti-capitalist segment, which seems to be about half the world right now, that don't like it because there's a company, and then you have the kind of decentralized ethos, which is just about everybody in cryptocurrency, except for the venture capitalists, from what I can gather from San Francisco Blockchain Week, who do not like Ripple because it's centralized. And for whatever reason, Ripple has a massive market capitalization, probably because they have a company that can invest in marketing. This is how it tends to work. And they have this massive fan base. And I think the massive fan base, I haven't really seen any, I have not seen any arguments laid to me for why these individuals have faith in XRP, except for the fact that it's cheap and it's going to pump to the moon. Now, that's not a bad narrative. I listened to that narrative for like 4 years in Bitcoin, but it's a little different with, I think it's a little different here with XRP, or at least it feels substantially.
I think what XRP has, and it's had this meme following it for years, which is that Bitcoin is like the wild card, the outsider cryptocurrency, while XRP is the insider crypto. This is Wall Street's secret gambit to break or to bring crypto to the masses, right? So a lot of people, even back in the day, vested on this hope that once the SWIFT system collapses, the global financial hegemony is going to adopt XRP payment tech for the future of international settlement. It's a bit of a dubious claim, but I think that's still the story that the XRP people push. It's what they want to believe. More recently, there's even conspiracy theories that link Donald Trump, resetting the global financial system and dismantling the Fed, and XRP is going to ride in with him to save the day. So, it gets pretty wild.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that particular conspiracy theory is tied up with BCH as well, and Craig Wright and BSV is the real thing, and excuse me, not BCH but BSV, and unfortunately, there's always these rabbit holes in anything that you want to do. In cryptocurrency, certainly we've got some pretty steep rabbit holes. So, I would.
Yeah, I mean,
I would recommend that people stay away from those. I would recommend that people stay away from those rabbit holes.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about XRP being filled with, insiders, Wall Street insiders, big financial people, and so maybe there's something to it. Maybe XRP is the one to get the blessing of the financial overlords in the future, maybe one day. But at the moment, it really just looks like a great scheme to make tons for Ripple to make tons and tons of money while dumping XRP on the heads of investors. And when the time comes, they'll be able to probably produce more tokens if they do need to distribute them for some wider application. But
yeah, I think it's a lot simpler than that. I think that the reason why XRP is successful is because they do have a lot of intelligent individuals in there, and the goal of any company is to make money consistently, generally, and pay out profits to their employees, to their shareholders, etc. And I think that Ripple has done that very, very well. Ripple, the company, is worth just an absolute metric ton of money, and it's been funded by the misguided investments of a bunch of retail noobs for the most part. So yeah, you have the Wall Street executives, the individuals that know the game, working for Ripple, and as Matthew McConaughey said in Wolf of Wall Street, just taking home cash. And they have a legion of bag holders out here waiting for some fundamental that doesn't need to happen because Ripple has already accomplished what they want to accomplish. Like they've extracted profit from the market, just in a different way. So,
yep.
I do agree. I think that if there is like a blessing, XRP would certainly be there with the regulatory friendliness. But I don't think it's going to go down that way. I think the government would step in, look at XRP, and be like, "Wow, you smart Wall Street guys just really formed yourself a nice Ponzi scheme, didn't you? We're not going to use this because we've got the Fed coin. So go and shut you down along with Bitcoin."
Indeed. All right, let's hop really quick into the next story. This one has to do with Coinbase introducing a lending feature where Bitcoin can be used as collateral. Now, this follows on the heels of something that the Square's Cash app announced recently, that they're also going to be providing like flash loans or micro lending. So Coinbase and Square become the latest platforms to venture into the ever-growing crypto lending base. So Coinbase revealed a new loan feature that would enable users to borrow cash with Bitcoin as collateral. So this is almost kind of like a pseudo entry into the DeFi space, right? Like this is kind of what DeFi is trying to do. This is like a more centralized take on that, but still kind of interesting. So, in their latest blog post on Wednesday, Coinbase, a major U.S. of course cryptocurrency exchange, announced that users will soon be able to borrow up to 30% of the Bitcoin in their accounts, but capped around $20,000. According to Coinbase, the new lending feature will not require a credit check or lengthy application process. The approval period will reportedly take between 48 and 72 hours. I mean, it makes sense. They're holding your Bitcoin captive, so I don't see why they wouldn't want to expedite that loan request, I guess. Loans obtained through Coinbase come at an annual percentage rate of 8% with a maximum repayment period of 12 months. The exchange said that loans will be useful for users who need to settle urgent needs like a house or car repairs without the need to sell a cryptocurrency prematurely or take out high-interest personal loans with high APR. Yeah, this is actually, I think, a pretty good idea, right? There might be a lot of retail people who have thousands, maybe 10,000, 20, 30, 100,000 even, tied up in Bitcoin on Coinbase. And meanwhile, they're not very liquid in their home finances, right? So out of the blue, you might need 10 grand. You don't really want to cash out your Bitcoin. You'd rather just lend against it in a pretty convenient way. And I guess this is perfect for that. You got your money on Coinbase. Why not tap a little bit of it for a 12-month loan? You figure in 12 months you'll repay the repair to your home furnace, and away you go without actually giving up your Bitcoin position, just in case Bitcoin does decide to moon in this period of time. So I think it's a pretty slick idea. Of course, it's kind of follows on the heels, like I said, of the Square's Cash App, which also announced recently that it was offering short-term cash loans to users. The Cash App loans range from $20 to $200, payable in 4 weeks' time with an interest of 5%. So something kind of like the payday loan operators, but in the mobile space for Cash App at least. Bitcoin or Coinbase, of course, doing this Bitcoin collateral loan system. Well, that's offering up to $20,000, so that's pretty good. Any thoughts, guys?
I think that the underlying idea of this in general just goes to show how bullish they are on Bitcoin. Like there's no credit check, there's no nothing. It's just we'll give you this up to a certain amount, and then I bet their goal is, yes, we might make 8%, but at the same time, these people default on these things. We just get their Bitcoin, and we know it's going to appreciate. I think it's a brilliant idea on their part.
Anyone else? I do think.
Yeah, I mean, this is a natural product for Coinbase to roll out.
Yep.
DeFi has, really inspired the entire market, and certainly any institution that's sitting around thinking like, how can we make more money off of this crypto thing? I mean, it's a natural progression. Lending is a natural part of the Western style economy. It's a natural part of a capitalist system. You're going to need loans, and the entire point here is to decentralize finance. That's the ethos there behind DeFi, and also to come up with funny sounding tickers. But yeah, this is a natural product, just like Coinbase naturally introduced margin, and it's just slow to the party like that because it's American and they just take a long time to do anything.
Indeed.
I'd like to say it's because the American companies take their time and build something of quality, and that might have been true once upon a time, and it's true certainly in some aspects. But for big behemoths, nah. I mean, they take a lot longer, and then they roll out an inferior product to what Singapore has.
Yeah, I do think that this whole trend, even in DeFi, is brilliant. I mean, we do lock up. In many ways, we're already locking up. If you're a hodler, you're already locking up your Bitcoin, your Ethereum bags for the future, and that might very well be a distant future, right? In the meantime, at some point, it's a store of value. You may want to borrow against it. So having these, particularly in DeFi, I mean, this 8% is a little steep from Coinbase.
But Coinbase has always been steep.
For sure, but there's a lot of DeFi protocols that are basically offering 0% interest on your on borrowing against your locked funds, right? So
Yeah, you're basically paying that 8% fee is for like the surety that it's not going to get hacked or stolen or stuff like that. It's safe with Coinbase, but it's safe as Coinbase like slowly skims off the top every month.
Yeah, it's not even slowly skimming off the top. It's a bit extreme.
still, I do think with eventually people are going to get bored with just holding their Bitcoin in their Ledger wallet or their Ethereum just sitting idly in their MetaMask. I think there'll be great opportunities in the future to lock up your money in these DeFi protocols and kind of borrow against it on the fly and repay in many ways at low interest or zero interest with very flexible timetables. So it's pretty cool to see that not just the DeFi space, but also the centralized finance, if you could call it that, like Coinbase and Square, also kind of hopping into this arena. They realize people hold these assets, they value these assets, they lock these assets up. Why not make elaborate financial instruments that can kind of borrow against them, right? Pretty smart stuff.
Yeah, I think I've been pretty consistent that if individuals are holding their funds on exchanges, the products that Binance currently offers as far as their savings program and their lending program, they're fantastic. If you're going to hold your funds on an exchange, which you are naturally going to be holding some portion of your trading account on the exchange, you have to.
Yep.
So if you have currency idly sitting there, do something with it, right? If you have funds that are just randomly sitting on Binance and you're not going to move them to cold storage, earn money with them. And yeah, as we move into the future, I'd like to see this done in a self-custodial manner. I think that's eventually the way that we will move. Obviously, we've seen DeFi now in this era, or excuse me, really in this year, see it pick up, be able to accomplish what decentralized exchanges, as we first thought they were going to be, were not able to accomplish. We now have it in a pretty reliable, robust way, along with earning yield. So.
Totally. Crypto.com, of course, is another major player in this space. They do have the payment card, so and of course they also have I think pretty much every crypto asset that they support, you can lock up and earn interest on with your deposits. So you're seeing these one-stop shops that are more and more looking like traditional financial institutions where accept your deposits rather than running off fiat or other assets, they're running off of crypto, and pretty much all you need is like a payment card, whether it's a Coinbase card. I think Binance announced their Binance card recently, or Crypto.com's card, of course, very popular. I mean, you could hardly tell this apart from a traditional banking institution with the kind of services that they're offering.
I'm sure that's the way they want it.
And it's the way I think we want it. But anyhow, let's hop into the next story. Maybe people heard about this latest DeFi mover, the YAM project. $400 million poured into YAM on Uniswap. You guys heard about this?
Well, yeah, it was it basically all-time high and all-time low within the span of one day.
Yep, it basically imploded soon after. So the high-flying crypto project, denoted by the sweet potato emoji, was stopped dead in its tracks on Thursday after a smart contract vulnerability was discovered hours before the rebasing. So definitely crypto space is one roller coaster ride that never fails to give. And this morning, the government's money experiment project YAM, the finance, gave the community a taste of adrenaline after its developers found out a bug, issued in the proposal, completed the proposal, but finally found out the smart contract had an inherent bug. I think they posted a message saying that all is lost. We'll have to try again later. There's another one here that says, yeah, they're going to have to start up a new project, YAM 2. To kind of continue the legacy of what they accomplished here. So the token crashed by about 98%, which led to the demise of the YAM finance as we know it. Yeah, complete disaster. Kind of goes to show you, there's so many potential problem areas for DeFi. There's so many ways you can get screwed, whether it's a
Well,
blatant exit scam or even if the developers have the best intentions at heart, sometimes a bug will screw you over. So $400 million in liquidity poured in and quickly poured out. I think some people got screwed along the way. It's quite unfortunate. But it goes to show you, buyer beware. The DeFi space is not all roses, I guess.
we're super early into this type of market. Like these things are bound to happen. They got to work out the kinks. I mean, and you're also going to have people taking advantage with exit scams and stuff like that. So, like we always say, anyways, it's really important to do your own due diligence and then also remember risk management. Don't go dumping all your money into one of these things trying to get rich quick. That's how you don't.
Indeed. Now, funny enough, YAM 2.0 is apparently already ready. So, I mean, I don't know how much faith they're going to have
Yeah,
going into
let's see
the,
that white paper.
the
They
first
just
one already crashed and burned, but it's like, don't worry, guys, we got you. We're going to launch it again. We promise, pinky swear,
Fool-
no more
This one
failures.
has to go better, right?
fool me
If it
once,
lasts
shame
more
on
than
you.
2 days, then this was a better version. So by definition, this has got to be the better YAM.
It's definitely a better YAM.
Un-
They printed out they printed out the white paper twice and just said YAM 2.0.
And I just want to point out missed opportunity on the headline. Headline should be YAM gets creamed.
Oh boy. Gonna have to put Alex on clickbait duty.
You're welcome, everybody.
He's got jokes.
All right, hopping into one of the last stories. Ethereum fees reached the highest level in history. So according to data by Coinmetrics, Ethereum's gas fees reached a new lifetime high of $6.87 average on August 12th. Remarkably enough, the new peak dwarfs the previous one of 4.5 million, I guess, total paid, recorded back in January 2018 when ETH reached a record high of $1,391. You take a look at the chart here, we can indeed see, holy crap, the fees have skyrocketed. And it just goes to show you, I think this definitely coincides with the popularity of DeFi and probably DeFi hitting a euphoric pitch right now. It's one thing to send Ethereum from point A to point B, probably still not that expensive, but once you do start engaging in these smart contracts, these liquidity pools on Uniswap, even a basic swap of Ethereum to say, yeah, this YAM token probably costs people like $5 in fees. So, the DeFi has one Achilles heel, I guess you could call it. It's that these fees really kill the processing of some of these transactions. But hey, when we're all making money hand over fist, what's 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks in Ethereum fees, right?
Quite a bit. Must be a great time to be an Ethereum miner. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense if you do like a $5 transaction, of course. But if you're doing a $1,000 transaction, then I mean, you're gonna pay that fee that pretty much with any financial instrument, credit card, bank fee. It is what it is.
Yeah, and again, thanks to the DeFi craze, people are willing to fork over, they don't care about the fees. They just want to get in on the next Moon token. So, I mean, I'll give you another example. Alex, you might remember earlier this week, Taco launched, and it
Yeah.
was it was pretty much they pretty much distributed all the tokens really quickly, and with like basically a public pre-sale. Let's put it that way. So they thought that they were doing everyone a favor by offering this first come first serve open pre-sale. Figuring everybody gets a fair shake at getting into tacos at the pre-sale. And what they found out was that no, people wanted to buy it up as quickly as possible, and people were willing to pay an absolutely enormous amount in gas to get in on tacos. So there was reports of people paying
1 ETH to make a 2 ETH transaction, like a full Ethereum gas transaction. They paid 400 USD.
Yeah, so there was a 2 ETH cap for the pre-sale, so people could buy 2 ETH worth of taco, but they were paying, like you said, 1 ETH or more in gas, so pretty much 50%, maybe up to 100% of the transaction in Ethereum, because the incentive was to acquire it before anybody else could. And in order to do that, you wanted to make sure your transaction was by all costs within the next block or two that Ethereum would mine. And what we saw was basically a series of gas wars. And of course, Taco ended up selling out. The allocations that became publicly available sold out within, the developers were saying, 15 to 20 seconds. So pretty much within the first block or two, people were putting up so much Ethereum that miners would jam it in at any, at any means necessary. So I wonder if this crazy spike in the fees that we've seen here has something to do with that. Maybe not just Taco, but a few other projects. Potentially this Yam project from yesterday, I noticed people are mentioning, also had something to do with this huge run-up. But as people pile in to these contracts and say, God damn it, I gotta have it. I can't let this transaction linger as pending for 30 minutes. I absolutely need to get in right now. Maybe they'll pay any amount necessary to do that. So talk about euphoria. All right, so final.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that what came to mind with what you were saying was back when the IEO craze was in full swing. Because for people who have been paying attention, we've seen this particular element of FOMO that exists in cryptocurrency, and I'm not sure why it exists. There's always been there's always been penny stocks, which move similarly, and certainly there's that FOMO mentality there. I guess there's this a slight FOMO mentality in most markets that I've traded, but in cryptocurrency, there's just this special kind of FOMO, and maybe because it is the decentralization and the access and the amount of people that can actually get in and receive these gains, or at least hear about those gains, because that's what most people are chasing, rather than consistent profitability. But it made me think of that IEO video where they were trying to get in on Binance's new listing, and you just had a warehouse full of individuals clicking on the computer as quickly as possible. So we went from ICOs to IEOs and now DeFi. Wonder what will come next.
Indeed.
Wisecoin.
Yeah,
Wisecoin.
We'll launch that
2021.
on the decks near you
Yeah,
any day
on it.
now. Just gotta scratch up a white paper to give me till tonight. All right,
Yeah.
final story, guys. This one was kind of interesting, caught my eye today. U.S. officials unveil a wide-ranging crackdown on terrorist financing networks involving Bitcoin and protective equipment sales. This was kind of interesting because a lot of headlines were saying that they cracked down on terrorists and Al Qaeda Bitcoin accounts, right? So you're wondering okay, how exactly did they seize Bitcoin from people? But let's just take a closer look at this story. So U.S. government agencies said Thursday that they have seized or are seeking control of funds held in nearly 300 Bitcoin addresses as part of a vast crackdown on 3 terrorist financing networks. So these 3 networks, officials said, involved organizations like, I don't want to trigger the YouTube algorithm by mentioning these guys. So, 3 major terror organizations. And in the statement, officials said that the 3 networks comprised a multifaceted approach to fundraising that included the use of Bitcoin-centric campaigns and the illicit sales of PPE equipment during the pandemic. So, the government said that this week's move represents the government's largest ever seizure of cryptocurrency within the terrorist context. Interesting. So the largest ever seizure of crypto. How did they seize this crypto is the question. So in the blog post, the blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis said that the investigation saw more than $1 million worth of crypto recovered from these terror finance campaigns and financial facilitators operating unlicensed money service businesses. So it should not surprise anyone that our enemies use modern tech, social media platforms, and crypto to facilitate their agendas, Attorney General William Barr said in a statement. The Department of Justice will employ all available resources to protect the lives and people of the American public. All right, so what I gather from this is that some of these quote-unquote terror organizations were using centralized exchanges. I was reading stuff on Twitter today saying that some of these guys had Coinbase merchant accounts, which is interesting. So I guess that kind of potentially explains how they partially seized this money. Likely, the FBI called up, the Coinbase guys, or called up whatever exchange these guys might have been using to funnel the money with, and showed them the badge and flexed the warrant, and the money was seized. So I guess this is an example, or at least a lesson to even the criminals out there in the terror groups. You might want to, not your keys, not your coins, right? If you don't want to get busted by the IRS, the HSI, the FBI, don't want your account seized. Well, you might want to consider not leaving your funds on the exchange. Not to mention, you interact with an exchange, you do your KYC. Well, it sounds at this rate you're going to get a drone strike directly to your compound. So, yeah, guys, find a way to maybe handle this differently. But then again, I'm not really in the business of advising terror cells how to, operate their Bitcoin businesses.
Well,
That's good
it was
because
a great
that sounds like
interview
a lousy
for one.
business
Yeah,
model.
it sounds like you're hired if they want you.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm gonna. You remember that one guy who went to North Korea and gave the presentation on programming Ethereum and Solidity?
Thought you were talking about Dennis Rodman.
Well, him too, but there was like that one Ethereum developer who went there, and I don't know if he really had any malicious intent or if it was just really just like charitable to some degree, giving people North Koreans presentation on how smart contracts and Solidity work. But I think the Justice Department or Homeland Security, somebody busted him when he came back saying, yeah, you're cooperating, you're helping a sanctioned regime finance, or launder their finances or something to that effect. So I think he's going to be doing a hard time over giving a Ethereum presentation in North Korea. So clearly goes to show you the feds are out there. They got their eyes on this. In fact, that's one of the main takeaways from this story is that this is something we reported on recently, is that there's been a huge string of contracts signed with government agencies like the IRS, the DEA, and so forth, between them and the analytics companies, right? So everything from Chainalysis, I think Coinbase Analytics arm has also had several contracts signed recently that we covered in the show earlier. So it's like the feds are crawling deep into the crypto trenches, and they're getting the intel, straight from the analytics firms, and they're going after people, right? So I guess the lesson in all this is, if you're a criminal, particularly a high-profile one from overseas, these guys are gonna start tracking you down. They will use every bit of analytics data they can find to, I don't know, blow you out of your hole, I guess, like the damn vermin. But all right, I think that kind of covers today's news highlights. I'm gonna hop into the live chat here real quick and see what some of the comments are. I don't know if you guys have anything yourselves to add.
Man, data just popped off. I was in a long 4 hour from yesterday that got stopped out at break even after TP1, but
I see I see their student here with a good question. Here he says, Justin, are you using the Donchian system for FX? Yes. Do I day trade with it too? No. How do I manage FX trades over the different banking opening times and in the weekends? I really don't know what you're talking about. I trade on Awanda. It trades Sunday through Friday, and it's closed Saturday and it's closed Friday evening, and then all day Saturday, and then Sunday until the afternoon. So I don't trade Forex on the weekends because Forex markets don't trade over the weekends. So yeah, I do not day trade Forex. I don't really day trade anything. I am building. That's not true. I do day trade, but I don't do it manually. I do it with the assistance of automation. Those are products and services that we're looking to offer to our premium members, and pretty impressed with what we have built so far. I just don't have enough time. I used to day trade all day long. That used to be my career, and it's exhausting, man. It really is. It's not fun. It was. There was a time when I lived in a house and there was 4 or 5 other traders who lived with me, and different traders would come in and out. And when you have that, when you're young and you don't have any kids or responsibilities, you could replace trading there with like any kind of communal group activity, right? Whether it's the military or like learning how to hunt or pick up artistry, like whatever. It was fun. But for somebody who has a life and responsibilities and who wants to enjoy their time and live a life of meaning and purpose, day trading sucks, man. It's terrible. It's cool with automation. It's a good addition to one's strategy, and I think that well, I guess I was just gonna kind of promote the daily strategies that I like. So
Daily is definitely smart, otherwise you will burn out. It's a young man's game.
Yeah,
Only so much time you can
for
spend in
sure.
front of a terminal every day trying to day trade. You're gonna end up losing sleep and putting on weight and ruining relationships. I think the smart way to approach is having a solid daily strategy and not trying to chase things maybe on smaller time frames. But that's me. That's my personal preference. Everybody can do as they please.
Well, I mean, I would have to say the same thing in that if I was still trading the way I was before I came to this group, I absolutely would have burnt out because I was just spending way too much time. You don't realize how much time goes by until it's 4 in the morning again, and you're still looking at the same chart. Like, it's ridiculous.
All right, another
Yep.
question we had come in here from GBU Wally. He was asking if you've covered the Tesla stock split and if there was any TA we could do on Tesla. I quickly pulled up the story. It's currently in front of us, guys. Tesla has surged 20% since it announced the stock split 2 days ago. You know what? I haven't been following this too closely. Let me just quickly read up. So Tesla's rallied since announcing on Tuesday it would create a 5-for-1 stock split at the end of August. Shares of the automaker jumped 13% on Wednesday and climbed as much as 6% on Thursday. The stock split doesn't change anything about the company fundamentally, but should appeal to
That's a reverse stock split.
smaller investors. Tesla has rallied as investors cheer the company's announcement that it will split its stock at the end of the month. A 5-for-1 split. The split doesn't change anything fundamentally. It will appeal to smaller investors who want to
No,
own
just a
stock
regular stock split.
but can't at the roughly $600 share price. Tesla said the stock split was designed to make stock ownership more accessible to employees and investors. The split at Wednesday's closing price would value shares at roughly $310. So, hold on, maybe I'll pull up Justin, you want to put this Tesla on your chart, or somebody else want to chart Tesla for us?
I mean, I certainly can, but I won't have any TA that's conducive to this. This is less TA. This is a little bit more fundamental, in my opinion. So we're talking about the realm of equities. So the stock split. So typically, the way I view situations like these is a sell the news event. What Tesla has done is they've created a known event. The stock split was known. So investors were able to get into Tesla ahead of time in order to receive the split. This is natural. So anybody that holds it's kind of like receiving a crypto dividend, right? If you hold Bitcoin, you got free BCH, you got free Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin, that dude's vision. You got these free crypto dividends that you paid nothing for. It's just free money. So typically, with this low valued now new stock split, you're going to have an asset that individuals that are looking at the price of Tesla and they're like, oh, I can't even afford like one stock. Well, they can come in and scoop up some of these. And that creates an opportunity for those who acquired the new stock to offload them onto new investors. Now, that's the smart thing to do. That's the consistent grinding out of profit. You get an opportunity, you are given free money, and boom. The more speculative thing to do is to kind of assume the appreciation of that new asset and ride it, which I don't really have any strong opinions on this. I'm not a Tesla trader. I'm not trading equities right now except for ETFs and indices. I don't know why. I have no idea why Tesla would choose to do it. But it is a financial opportunity for those who held Tesla stock. That's really my only opinion about the situation.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tesla continues its tear. up 280% year to date. But you know what, guys? We have been going 2.5 hours, so this has been quite the stream. Thanks to everybody who participated and joined in. Thank you to, of course, lead analyst Justin, who managed to make it in despite the generator power, handling his laptop right now. And of course, Alex and Jason were here for the party as well. Thanks to everybody in the live chat as well. Thank you to everybody who showed up. Any final words before we bring this to a dramatic close?
Yeah, of course. Just letting you guys know, I appreciate you guys watching the stream, supporting the channel. You guys know how you can support us on YouTube if you're watching on that platform. The subscribe button, the like button. Leave a comment down below. The question today is, what is the biggest mistake you made in the 2017 crypto bull market? And what mistake, and of that mistake, what are you doing now to avoid making that same mistake? If that makes sense. Sorry about that. To the best of my knowledge, utilities power in my area may be restored tomorrow. However, if it is not, then it will likely not be until early next week, Monday or Tuesday. So I am going to go ahead and assume and call it that we will not be doing a regular live stream tomorrow. I'm going to do some pre-recorded content tomorrow is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that today, but had some last minute complications, so we decided to do the live stream. Let's see here. We don't have any events coming up. Of course, we've got the World Series of Trading going on right now, the Bybit competition. So make sure to stop by the leaderboard and check out how our traders are doing. I'm very impressed so far. Very few individuals that are doing poorly, and most individuals doing quite well in that competition. And again, just very, very humbled at all the individuals that wanted to come by and sign up, whether they were premium members or not. So the competition was open to everybody in the community. Make sure to stop by the. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I also wanted to bring up for anyone who's listening that's on the team, and if this is you on the team who came into the competition with a very large amount of money and who was already down quite a bit, if you just reach out in the Discord or whatever, man, because I just don't want to see you lose any more money at the rate that it's going. And I think that having a lot of money always doesn't make you a good trader. And I mean, if there's anything you need or want to talk about, just please reach out to us, because it's breaking my heart seeing you lose 14 Bitcoin already.
Yeah, whoever that individual is, please do contact us in the Discord.
Reach out, man. That's what the group's for. Like,
Yep.
You don't have to go through all these lessons, and you're spending quite a bit of money in the first 3 days.
Real quick, just let me answer Dear Student here. He says, asking, do I hold trades open over the weekend? Yes, I do. And then this question about volume and banking times. Yeah, I completely ignore that, man. In equities and Forex, there's all kinds of nuances that people want to trade on. And again, there's edges everywhere. So I'm certainly not discounting that strategy. But as for what I do, yeah, I completely ignore all of that stuff. I do not, I don't, yeah. I just trade my system very strictly in Forex. I have results of that. And GBU Wally, I haven't looked at the chart, so I'm just going to assume it is a NASCAR flag. Good to see you, Robert. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming by. Make sure to join the Discord, discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. A lot of good conversation going on in there. And over the last few weeks, good sign of the bull market, because just a ton of new faces in the Discord gives us opportunities to do lots of events. And stay tuned, because when we get back online next week, I've got some really cool stuff lined up for you guys that you'll like.
All right,
And
brilliant.
just to add to what Justin was saying about leaving your comments down below on your worst experience, never be embarrassed about any of that stuff, because that's how we grow as traders. It's one of the things that I really appreciate most about the group and the community mentoring sessions is you don't always have to do this all alone, man. Someone else has made a worse mistake than you. Don't be embarrassed about it. Use it to learn from it and become a better trader. So I'll really be excited to see what some of you guys put down there.
Well said. Alex, you still with us? You want to say a farewell?
Good luck, guys. I don't have much to say. Be buying shit coins and mid cap coins.
Yeah,
It's still bull season.
Keep an eye on Bitcoin pairs, because they're starting to look just juicy.
Yeah.
All very good points. All right, I think we're going to head up to our conclusion here. Going to hit the stream ending sequence shortly. I think this is our farewell from here. Thank you to everybody who showed up. This has been Breaking Bitcoin. Everyone, peace out.
Trade
Thanks, guys.
safely, guys. Cheers.
Goodbye.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.